So, as many of you know, I think the last couple years have really revealed to parents that they are being ignored increasingly across our country when it comes to their kids' education. We have seen curriculum embedded for very, very young children, classroom materials about sexuality and woke gender ideology. We've seen libraries that have clearly inappropriate pornographic materials for very young kids. And we've seen services that were given to students without the consent or even knowledge of their parents across the country. And unfortunately, that's happened here in the state of Florida. You're going to hear from some parents where that has happened. Now in Florida, we found at least 6 school districts that had policies to cut parents out of decisions regarding their child's well-being and to shield them from knowing about various forms of mental health services.
Parents play a central, if not the central, role in the child's education. A parent's involvement in the child's education is crucial because that involvement has been shown to significantly improve academic achievement by providing the student a structure at school and a structure at home. The involvement of parents is also important because it fosters better behavior, helps students develop lifelong loving of learning by demonstrating the value of education, builds a stronger connection between home and school, and leads to increased success in school and beyond in the workplace. In fact, studies have shown that there is a direct correlation between higher grades, test scores, and overall academic achievement or parental engagement in the student's education. All of the data shows a positive correlation between parent involvement and educational success, which makes the events in Loudoun County, Virginia, and across the U.S. even more concerning. A group of parents in Loudoun County, Virginia, were suing the school board because they claimed they were being silenced at recent school board meetings. They claimed they were being shut out from taking an active role in their child's educational experience. However, the role of parents goes further, with instances of some schools across the country and across that county adopting policies that advocated for keeping information from parents. A New York Times article, after interviewing more than 50 parents, teachers, and administrators, described a situation where one mother in California, sharing a message about how her teenager's teacher encouraged her student to, and I quote, seek medical attention, housing, and legal advice without the parent's knowledge, end quote. Then, a lawsuit in Wisconsin states how one teacher posted a photo of a teacher's flyer which stated that, I quote, if your parents are not accepting of your identity, I'm your mother now, end quote. These are only some examples of how schools across the country have taken it upon themselves to go around parents and even outright ignore parental consent. The issue of education and, more intensely, the issue of gender has become a hot-button issue in the fight between schools and parents in school districts across the country. Schools need to understand the sensitive topics like gender identity, and those topics need to be discussed between parents and child at home. At the very least, schools need to respect the parental rights of their students' parents and not openly subvert those important rights. Public school children and students are not wards of the states, but are under the care of parents who, legally speaking, are deemed suitable and capable of raising their own child. That is, unless Children and Family Services gets involved and a comprehensive and legal proceeding gets concluded and undertaken that states otherwise. Teachers in schools do not get to make those judgments on their own. On these issues, the state governments, with clear federal guidelines, need to pass legislation in their states that promotes policies that encourage active communication active communication between the school and families, support translation services for diverse communities, and that educate parents and families about ways to effectively support their child's learning at home and beyond.